Yeah, we were on a mission, got my crew at my side. Scouring the shells, we're down for the ride. Plastic warriors all lined up tight. From the comic shop counters to the late night site. It's the thrill of the hunt, gotta make it mine. I'm out here searching, yeah, taking my time. I'll flip every aisle, don't care what it takes. For that rare chase piece, I'm raising the stakes. Action figure alliance, yeah, we're bringing the noise. Rolling deep, rolling heavy with my action toys. Collectors unite, we're breaking the chains. Plastic in hand, we're playing no games. From legends to villains, yeah, I got them all. Stacked up high, every hero, every ball. Every line, every wave, from the past to the new. It's a bond, it's a crew, we're the real Toy Zoo. Tear it through the packaging, no hesitation. Each piece, a reminder of dedication. Don't call it a phase, this ain't just a trend. These figures got history, they're my closest friends. Action figure alliance, we're staking a claim. Battling for grails, don't care about fame. From the base of the shelves, we're making a stand. This is our world, you don't understand. Paint them, pose them, fix them up right. Customs in the works, we go all night. From the rarest grills to the dudes out fights. Each one's got a story burned in our minds. Action figure alliance, yeah, we're bringing the noise. Rolling deep, rolling heavy with my action toys. Collectors unite, we're breaking the chains. Plastic in hand, we're playing no games. We're playing no games. From legends to villains, yeah, got them all. We're after legends and stories untold. Alliance forever till the end of the line. This is our mission, this is our pride. From legends to villains.
All right. I think I'm the legend tonight because of this shirt. You can be the villain.
I'll be the villain. I got my Monster Force shirt on, so
That's a good one too. I know that there's certain people in the audience that might appreciate that.
oh yeah, there's somebody in the audience that likes that one.
Yeah. Man, so it's another one of those where it's like this is going to be a good one, which I say every damn time. But I'm hyped for this one.
Yeah, nice. I'm ready to discuss this one as well. It's a cool Kickstarter, and I think it'll do well.
Oh yeah, I'm hitting up my water. I'm going to go ahead and drop this. Woo! See, my shirt is kind of thematic. I got like some where is it? Wrong hand. Some zombie hands up here and some creepy stuff. So
I know y'all went to what is it? Oddities Con this past weekend.
Yeah. So our regular viewers might realize that my wife likes to collect some creepy stuff, and so she drugged me over to an oddities convention in Charlotte, and it was odd. But there was some cool stuff like this shirt. I also picked up, show this off because this is pretty cool. Piece of art with the alien xenomorph on it, looking pretty awesome.
Cool.
So I was excited about that. And one thing that I saw there that was pretty cool and was kind of wild was a live two-headed snake.
Oh, that's cool.
With both heads were like fully functional and living. And the snake had been alive for 7 years. It was a 7-year-old snake. And the guy said he had to feed both heads simultaneously or else they would bite each other.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And his name was Rock and Roll. So one head was rock and the other head was roll.
That's great. That's great.
So pretty wild. But no, the wife bought some bugs.
Nice.
So
no massive hippopotamus head this time.
No, but a giraffe skull almost came home. I shit you not.
Wow.
But they were there weren't any that she was just in love with. And if we're going to spend big money on something like that, we're going to get one that's primo, So yeah, it was a thing.
Nothing replaces the hippo skull.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's sitting on the table in the den right as you walk in the front door.
It is.
But it was a good time though. There was some neat stuff. I got a couple of cool things from it, and we had a good time. Those people that were selling the bugs, the framed bugs, were making a killing. Like
Yeah.
those things were just flying off their table, which was wild.
Yeah.
Um, so we're here to talk about action figures, though, not the weird shit that I did on my weekend.
I mean, some of our action figures are weird shit, but it's okay.
Yeah, we try for some weird shit action figures here and there,
Yeah.
don't we? Well, yeah, man. So we have got Adam from the Nameless Toy Company sitting backstage. We're gonna hit our intro and bring him in, but he's here to tell us all about, well, himself. We always want to learn a little bit about who the people are bringing
Yep.
us these cool toys, and space zombies from Mars, man.
Yeah.
Which looks awesome, which looks really cool. And I'm not just saying that, uh, my pocket's already feeling lighter and the Kickstarter hasn't even started yet. So
Yeah.
that's not a lie there. But anyway, I'm going to roll the intro. Let's get on with this, shall we?
Yeah, man.
All right.
In a plastic world where legends collide, tiny heroes standing side by side, guardians of playtime in disguise, action figure alliance on the rise. Join the alliance, come take a stand, with the many armies ruling the land. Hail to the heroes loaded with might, action figure alliance unite tonight.
What is up, Adam?
Hey, what's
Adam,
going
what's up,
on?
man?
We're excited to have you on, dude.
Excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
And man, look at that collection sitting there behind
Yeah.
you.
Oh, these old things. This
Got some nice stuff back there. You talking my languages with the GI Joe and the X-Men stuff.
You know what I say? These old things. I pretty much only collect modern stuff. I sold off my vintage stuff. I just found modern stuff way more fun, just with the articulation, the fact that I can kind of get everything in the same scale and stuff like that. So, not old by any means. Most of these things are like a few years old at oldest.
So mainly 1/12 scale collector.
Yeah, mainly 112. There's a few things that kind of pique my interest.
Mm.
The Creative Beast guys got me into 1/18 scale with Cyberzoic.
Yeah.
That will happen. Those are pretty cool.
Yeah, the
Got me with the ghost figure with a call sign longbow.
yeah,
So,
and my buddy Ken, who's doing the Delta 17 stuff,
Yeah.
so I got a couple of those, and then yeah, the Skeletron stuff. Like, there's some cool 1/18 scale. I would say by and large, though, yeah, 112 is kind of my thing. I just think, like, form function wise, like, you can get the right amount of articulation, the right amount of detail. You know, the hands work better in that scale. So yeah, 112 is kind of where I'm at for the most part.
Yeah,
we're right there with you, man.
We are, both of us. Yeah, and to be honest, Trey's going a little bit 1/18th, and I'm doing that a little bit myself. He's doing the vintage side, and I'm doing some very modern stuff. And I also collect some 1/6 scale things, and then some big robots and stuff that are all wonky in scale, like 1/72nd or 100th, and it's like, okay.
You know what? I should say that if we're I also collect 1/100 scale. If you talk about Gundam model kits, I do the master grades of those. But when I say that, I'm looking at my backlog. I haven't built one in 2 years. So.
Have you seen? Are you familiar with Mosho Toys?
The name doesn't ring a bell, but I bet if you showed me a product, I'd be like, I've seen that.
They're starting to do some 1/100th scale action figures of Mecha, right?
Okay.
And, so you don't have to put them together, and they are crazy cheap for what you're getting, like metal frames, the whole 9 yards, cool gimmicks, all that kind of stuff, and they're awesome. They're like my favorite import company right now.
What is it? Mosho?
MOSHOW.
So if you go on the channel, Alan just did a video on one of the Mosho toys, and it's really cool. So
go
check that out.
Yeah. We're already starting down the path, but I want to hear a little bit about who the hell you are and your collecting background, and what got you started collecting. It sounds like you had some vintage stuff and kind of moved on from that. So give us a little bit of who Adam is.
Well, I'll just give you the toy collecting bit because a lot of the other stuff's not that exciting or relevant. But
You know,
yeah, no, I
feel free to tell us anything or air any damn dirty laundry you want.
no, I was always, always a nerd as a kid, always a toy collector, I guess, as a kid without really knowing it. Pretty introverted by nature. Spent a lot of time, just playing with action figures on my floor in my backyard or whatever. Kept a lot of them for a long, long time. And really I held on to some of them too long, and then I sold off a bunch of stuff when we moved house. When my then, which she would have been my girlfriend or fiance. Anyways, my current wife, we moved, and I had these bins full of toys, and I was like, "Okay, I got to sell these. I don't want to move them again." And that was sort of the end of my childhood collection, and that's when I sort of started my modern collection. We moved into a house while we were building this house, and then this room got purpose built for at the
Nice.
time what was my Lego collection. So this was the Lego room on the actual blueprints of the house when we built it. But it's now been taken over by action figures. I was, I'd be going to like toy stores, whether it was and I'm in Western Canada, so I still have Toys R Us. So
Oh, wow.
I'd be going to like Walmart or Toys R Us to get a Lego set, and I'd always walk past like the Marvel Legends aisle, and I'd be like, "Oh, those are pretty cool," but I don't, I kind of got out of toys. I'm just doing Lego, so Lego was kind of my gateway by way of being in toy stores. And then I started with Marvel Legends, and then and then the Classified series came out, and then it kind of snowballed from there. And over the last year, maybe two, I find myself just about only buying independent stuff, uh,
Nice.
Okay.
whether that's Mythic Legions or Monster Force or Animal Warrior: The Kingdom. Uh,
Nice.
I'm just, I have a Spider-Man. I don't know, that I'll ever need another one. Uh, I don't know that I need another Hulk, that kind of thing. So Marvel Legends
Right.
doesn't really do much for me anymore now that I've gotten far too many of them. Um, and even Classified, like I love Classified. I love GI Joe. That's sort of my first love as far as toy IPs go.
Yeah.
But my list of characters that I need is getting pretty short now. I mean, we've
Right.
gotten hundreds of them now, and
Yeah.
I got the Hiss Tank, I got the Dragonfly, I've got the Rattler on order. I've got I've gotten like just about everything they've done. And I can't wait for that Cold Slither set, but
Yeah. We'll talk
um
about that a little later.
Yeah, for sure.
but I found myself just being drawn in more to the new stuff and new IPs and like new lore and new worlds that are new and fresh and fun and kind of just I kind of quenched the thirst for nostalgia in some respects, and so now I'm kind of just like really really excited about new stuff, and that's sort of how I ended up connecting with Arlen, who is the sculptor and sort of the creator of Space Zombies from Mars. um so do you want me to just roll into that?
Well, okay. So let me ask
Yeah,
you.
more. Go ahead.
It sounds like your 1/12 scale stuff was fairly recent. So how long ago, or your modern collecting, how long
Mhm.
ago was that?
So I think the first 112 figure that I picked up, and I have a, it's probably not a weird thing. This is probably pretty common. But when I sort of get into something, I go really hard, really quick.
Oh yeah.
My wife teases me. She
Yeah.
always says like, "Don't start a new hobby, like another new hobby, because we know where that will lead."
Bro,
Um,
speaking my wife's language.
Yeah. Mine too.
so it was I can't, it was Marvel Legends that sort of got me back into like actual like action figures. And I can't remember if it was the I can't remember if it was the Archangel, Beast, Nightcrawler, or like it was sort of in and around that area.
You had a thumb. You were doing.
Yeah, you
this.
want me to do it again? Yeah, I
and you
got
did a
thumb
thumbs
came
up, and
up.
it just popped up, and that's never happened. And I was like, "Oh, that's cool."
Oh, you know, yeah, I have all Mac products, so I have like
Oh,
the
So is
okay.
that on your? Okay.
I could
Okay.
do
Yeah.
more. I could do lasers. I can do rain. Yeah, I got
You got your own effects. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Good
yeah.
stuff. Good stuff. So is this? Are we talking like 5, 6 years ago, maybe more? Or
Oh, more.
okay.
It'd
Okay.
be
Some of those Marvel Legends are a little bit older than that. So yeah,
yes. I'd
I'm looking
say
behind you. The X Men above you. I have all that, and that's a
7 or 8.
little.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
say,
I
Okay.
would say that.
give or take,
Okay.
because it coincides with the age of my eldest child. She's 9, and
Right.
I kind of blame my wife for me getting back into toys because she'd send me to Toys R Us to get baby stuff.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go.
And I was like unsupervised in Toys R Us, and I'd come home with
Yeah.
like I
Yeah.
went for soothers, and I got an action figure too, and I was like,
Oops.
Yeah.
well,
It was in the cart. I don't know what
yeah,
happened.
exactly.
Yeah, that's cool. It's funny. It sounds very similar to me because I actually had a long stint with Lego
Hmm.
that my wife started.
Hmm.
Um, and then it's just been about 5 years now. I picked up the Thousand Toys, I think, Master Chief figure.
Hmm.
And I was like, man, if this is what a 1/12 scale figure can be, I need to look at more of it. And
Yeah,
because
exactly.
I've been doing hot toys for quite a while, but those were just like you pick. You don't go
Hmm.
all in,
Hmm.
or at least I didn't. And so it was a slow accumulation of hot toys, very slow. And then yeah, the 1/12 scale thing was just like I'm getting it all, baby.
Hmm.
I saw like some Mezco figures, for example, and I was like, soft goods on 12 scale,
Right.
so yeah. But well, cool. So let's go ahead and move on to the nameless toy company and what you're here to talk about
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
specifically. Just go.
Yeah.
So, like a lot of people, I saw Arlen's work. I saw it in person for the first time at Joe Fest last year.
Yep.
I
Nice.
knew
We were there.
Arlen a little bit because of Animal Warriors of the Kingdom.
Mhm.
So for anybody that doesn't know, I actually work for Spiro Toys in the capacity of like I don't even know. Like customer service, I guess, is like the biggest thing that I'm kind of known for. Like I do the emails. Like if you send like a hey, I need help
Mhm.
with Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, I'm the guy. That's my thing.
Okay.
Okay.
I've done a few cons and I help Jason with some of the back end stuff, whether it's the store or fulfillment or whatever. But I do it all remotely from Western Canada. So um, but Arlen was sculpting for Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, and so I kind of knew Arlen through Jason at Spiro, and we had chatted before, and just talked about toys, and I knew that he sculpted other things, and I knew that he sculpted for other companies and things like that. And I had seen his work. I mean, I'd seen his zombies because they've been out for a while, and we met at Joe Fest last year, as I mentioned, and they had a couple of the basically just like the 3D printed versions.
Sure.
And I think they had a paint master too of the green
Mhm.
military guy, and maybe a zombie as well. I think I have those in a box over there actually. Um, but then I was talking to Ira, who is Arlen's brother, and the other guy, the other sort of creative guy behind this. He's doing the lore and the sort of world building, and I was just chatting with him at the table at Joe Fest. Arlen was off, talking sculpts with somebody, and he was like, yeah, and we're doing a record, and I was like, you what now? And he's like, yeah, we have a soundtrack, and I was like, this
Nice.
line is awesome. That was what kind of got me, was the just the layers that they had sort of built up for this
Mhm.
world. And so over the course of the Joe Fest weekend, unbeknownst to me, they were kind of like like interviewing me almost to see if they liked me enough to sort of invite me into the gang.
That's
Um,
cool.
because they're great at creative stuff, but they had the designs and they had the soundtrack, but they didn't know what to do with it. They didn't know like where to
Mhm.
put it or who to talk to about how do we make this happen? How do we set up a Kickstarter? How do we do that kind of stuff? Um, and I guess I don't know if Jason said to Arlen, "Hey, you should talk to Adam" or what, but they had decided that I was their guy. And so over the course of a few very weird conversations over like a beer or something, where they're asking me like really weird questions about like how would I run a business kind of thing. We basically sort of came to the realization and understanding that the three of us together could make a pretty cool toy line.
So is that the birth of the Nameless Toy Company?
That was the birth of us deciding
Nice.
to have a company. The Nameless Toy Company, in name, didn't come around for a long time. And actually, like we would go back and forth about names constantly, and we just could not decide on anything. We couldn't agree on anything. There just wasn't anything that really made sense. Um, and so we just had a nameless toy company, and then I think one morning Arlen's like, let's just call it the Nameless Toy Company. And I think I said, yeah, that works because then it's TNT Co.
Yeah.
And we were like,
Yeah.
holy, like is this is this it? Is this it?
Yeah.
And so that's just, how it came about, and it just kind of stuck. It was like we literally couldn't think of a better name than the Nameless Toy Company. And so that's how the company came about. Space Zombies from Mars kind of came about in almost the same way. Arlen had the designs, and he's talking to Ira, and they tell the story better, so I won't go too deep into it. But effectively, Arlen said, well, what should we call the line, this brand, this IP? And Ira said Space Zombies from Mars. He was like, well, they're just Space Zombies from Mars. Shouldn't we call them something? And yeah, Space Zombies from Mars. So we've now established that we have a pretty on the nose pattern for like naming things. So if we ever do, another line, it may be pretty obvious what the line is if we have the name first.
That's funny. Well, I'm going to go ahead and switch over and
One
pull up.
thing
Oh,
before, but I want to show him this. So earlier this week, somebody had posted this on Facebook, and it says, "Imagine living on Mars."
Mhm.
And the guy's standing on Mars. Imagine living on Mars with peace and harmony, without any kinds of religion, race, borders, just one beautiful world. And I replied, and then the zombie apocalypse happened.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I showed them the toy collector cover.
Yeah.
I posted a toy collector cover and then a link to this chat. So hopefully David's watching. I don't know if he is, but he was like, "Man, that's cool." And I know he's a toy collector too, and we only really talk on Facebook, but I thought you'd get a kick out of that. Somebody else had that idea, and I was like, but wait, there's more.
but wait.
Yeah. And that's the fun part about the lore, and people have meant, and we'll get to the figures, I'm sure, but like one of the fun things about the lore is that when you see the figures, there's only one. The military faction does come with weapons that you'd sort of expect to see with a military figure, but all the other figures are from other factions. Like a medical faction, why would they have weapons? Effectively, like they've gone on a mission to Mars to colonize Mars.
Mhm.
They didn't expect to find zombies, right? So
Right.
in a weird way, like that's a perfect tie-in. It's sort of like, yeah, imagine going to Mars. You can get away from all the troubles of the world. That's what they thought too. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Well, I'm going to go ahead and bring up the some of the figures and
Sorry,
stuff.
I thought that was a good segue. So,
I love it.
You're good. All right. So here's just a cool little look to get started with it. But we're starting off with Spike Spectre, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like he does have a ray gun.
So he does. So Spike Spectre. Okay, I'll give you like the 2-minute lore pitch here. So Spike Spectre is the leader of the original Red Dust mission. So Red Dust was a mission to Mars that in this world, left Earth, in sort of the 60s. So that's why he's got that kind of retro vibe to the suit, and he's got the fishbowl style helmet.
Yeah.
And then all the other astronauts were sent on Red Dust 2, which is the second mission to Mars,
Right.
that takes place, late 80s, early 90s. So it's sort of like of our time, but it's not quite. There's going to be some disconnects, and then there's also, the whole thing is sort of through the lens of, cinema and comic books and books from like the 50s and 60s for these guys, hence why he's got, the ray gun, or sci-fi now. So it's a world that's familiar, but not, it's not our universe. So
Bart says you had me at bubble helmet.
yeah, that bubble helmet's pretty cool.
So he's also got kind of a mask looking thing. There has to be lore behind that. I'm curious.
Yeah, I have the paint sample. I actually just opened it. I just got it in the
Nice.
mail yesterday.
Nice.
And it's actually a helmet.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so yes, he does have that.
So are you going to tell us about it?
No.
No?
It can't yet.
All right.
Secrets.
All
Secrets.
No,
I
so
like it though. It looks cool.
it looks phenomenal, and it's a big part of the lore. There's some of that's going to be in the comic book, and but yeah, it's sort of integral to the whole, zombie thing. And
Now you mentioned comic book, and that pulls me in because I love when a figure company has a comic. They have the lore, they have the story that draws me to that line, and definitely I see that all these are going to go along with my Monster Force, with my Action Force, with my Classified. So this is all going to wrap in really nicely, and just my next question is, talk about the darked out stuff. I know that's stuff you're hiding, but I'm assuming that's zombification. Tell us about the blacked out stuff.
yeah, absolutely. So what's blacked out, there's going to be more for the astronauts and a little bit less for the zombies. It's effectively represents stretch goals. So there are 2 stretch goals within the campaign that unlock more pack-ins for the figures. So you're basically seeing everything that you could get, so long as we unlock all the stretch goals, if that makes sense. Instead of offering, like additional hands or additional parts or whatever as like additional items for you to buy, we thought it was more fun and just cooler if you get them for free if you sort of back this and it gets unlocked. The logic there, the reasoning there is that, if you back for, say, Spike Spectre, but you want all the extra stuff, it's in your best interest to tell your friends to go and back this as well.
That's right.
That we can unlock it. So it's sort of like everybody that backs this early will have sort of the common goal of trying to get, this project to fund, better and unlock more stuff, because then, with no additional charge to the backers, you're going to get more stuff.
Right.
So on that,
I know that you want me to tell you what it is, but I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah.
What I will say is that what is in those unlocks, for me personally, is easily the most fun stuff that we've got on offer.
Well,
Nice.
I mean, this thing right here looks like a grievous injury.
Yeah.
And these hands down here look kind of interesting. There's a bare arm, so you can kind of start to surmise a little bit of what's going on.
You can, and I mean, we're not like it's hidden behind a shadow, but a lot of it has been seen, whether it's like in coverage from conventions where some of this stuff has like been on tables, or it's been on Arlen's Instagram, or like, so we're not trying to like, we could have hit it better than that, I have seen videos or sort of seen people speculate and 100% nail exactly what you're looking at there.
Sure.
Nice. Yeah.
Well, it's like I said, it's not a big secret. Like there's like, obviously those are hands, You know,
Yeah.
Right.
obviously,
Right.
like,
That's a
like
leg. Yeah,
it's
that's
not. But some of the other things I think are a little less obvious. But as soon as they get revealed, you'll go, "Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense." Yeah,
yeah.
that's
Gotcha.
like, yeah.
Now I really like this. The modern weapon and the kind of pistol, the modern astronaut head, like this whole
Mhm.
thing screams buy me now. Take my money. Just take
We
it.
hope so.
Yeah. So yeah, you're talking modern military guy Garrison.
Mhm.
I like this one.
So I've heard somebody ask, when is this going live? And I guess we haven't really touched on that
Right.
specifically.
Mhm.
It's what, Saturday?
It's March 1st.
March 1st.
We're not giving a time
Okay.
because there are there are people that back a lot of Kickstarters that are like ultra competitive about being backer number one.
Oh,
So we're not giving a time so that nobody has an advantage over somebody else. But what we are saying is the Kickstarter page, you know, if you go and look up, you know, Kickstarter Space Zombies from Mars, there is a little page where you can hit a button that says notify me when this goes live.
okay.
And you'll just get an email in your inbox with a link to the Kickstarter once it goes live, and you know, hopefully you can jump on there and back for a few things. And you know, we fully anticipate that we're going to crush it and just absolutely, you know, blow this thing out of the water day one. And then, you know, all these videos will just be us celebrating that we're doing toy line.
Oh, absolutely.
But if not, you know, we'll still do the videos and
Right.
still hang out and talk. And but yeah, March 1st.
Okay.
March
What's
1st
the?
through the 31st.
That was my question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So you said 2 stretch goals and kind of, so those stretch goals are going to kind of affect a whole bunch of different things from the sounds of it, though.
Yeah. Oh, yes. So we have, so the initial offering is going to be 5 figures. So it's 2 astronauts, 2 zombies, and then a Kickstarter exclusive, which was revealed yesterday.
Oh,
And
it's in the
then
slideshow. You're not getting that past me.
it is in the slideshow.
Yes, it is.
Okay, good. I was like, wait, did I send him that? Because I
No, you
sent
didn't.
it. Oh, I didn't send it.
Nope. But I got it. I got it.
Oh, you got, okay, you pulled it today. Sorry.
Yeah.
Or
So
yesterday.
we do have a good question here from Jada Sorcerer. If the Kickstarter is successful, will they be available for order on any online stores? Like I know they were tied there with BBTS at Joe Fest. Is there any kind of relation there that there might
So
be
there
something
will,
there in the future?
yeah, absolutely. So there will be a couple online retailers that will be carrying this line.
Okay.
We did something a little bit different than I think most Kickstarters did. We actually reached out to online retailers. Like we specifically reached out to a couple specific online retailers and said, "Hey, would you like to effectively do a pre-order on this?" What we've seen in a lot of recent action figure Kickstarters is that backers are kind of waiting for like a retailer bump, and they kind of anticipate that the retailer is going to kind of push these projects over the line. We basically got pre-orders in from the retailer, so we're not going to have a retailer bump, we're not going to have a retailer spike. If this doesn't fund as an organic Kickstarter, then you know it doesn't fund, so you know don't bank on that. We've basically set it up so that those retailers will place a pre-order on April 1st if the Kickstarter is successful. So as I said, you know, if you can back it during the Kickstarter, please do, because that's how this thing is going to get made. There will be retailers announced, but if we don't fund, they don't get product. So
Right.
So does that mean that you have kind of lowered your goal
that's
because of
exactly
those?
what it means. Yeah, exactly. So we basically factored in what retailers would effectively contribute, took that off of what we need, and then we think we got a pretty low funding goal. So it's pretty simple and straightforward. Our funding goal is 120,000 US,
Mhm.
with all stretch goals unlocked at 170,000 US.
Okay.
So pretty reasonable, I think,
Yeah.
considering you know what we're offering. Um, and again, I am going to say this on every video that I do. Kickstarter, because we're in Canada, Kickstarter tells us that we have to run it in Canadian dollars.
Yep.
So change the setting to US dollars before you sort of see the sticker shock and the numbers don't quite line up with what I'm saying. we based everything on US dollars because all the bills that we're going to have to pay are in US dollars. So like the astronaut, like Guy Garrison, will be $40 US approximately, but I think it's like 55 Canadian or something like that. So people are going to log on to Kickstarter and be like, $55. That seems
Yeah,
like a lot, but that's in Canadian dollars, which is not as strong as the US dollar. So um, just sort of those things that we need to sort of address. But as I said,
sure.
I think $40 for the astronauts and like 25 for the zombies during the Kickstarter. I think the MSRPs are 45 and 28, so you're saving a few bucks by backing it through the Kickstarter.
Okay. Okay.
I wouldn't.
Cool.
I had to go reach on. Sorry.
You're back. You're back. That's all right. Well, that's cool. And so, uh, how many figures again? There's 3 astronauts and 2 zombies, or the other way around?
Yeah, sorry. So the initial offering at launch is going to be 2 astronauts and 2 zombies. So
Okay.
it's
Oh, and
Guy
then the
Garrison.
Kickstarter exclusive.
Yes, yeah. So 2 astronauts, 2 zombies, and then the Kickstarter exclusive, which is the glow in the dark
Go in the dark zombie. Okay.
zombie.
Nice.
And then as stretch goals, we have 6 more figures and one more item that we're going to reveal on Friday before we launch. But then there's 2 other stretch goals sort of within the campaign that are the additional hands and then the additional parts.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
Cool. So you got a medical guy here,
Mhm.
and I like how you come with 2 heads, completely
Yeah.
disparate, totally different characters, right?
Right.
Yep.
Is that kind of so you haven't named Dr. Michael Locke here, and it looks like you've got a male and a female head?
Yeah, I think for 4 out of the 5 astronauts, no, 3 out of the 5, there's a male and a female head. And then
Okay.
Spike
Okay.
Spectre has, he has the mask and stuff, so he has different stuff. And then Guy Garrison comes with that masked kind of soldier army builder.
Yeah.
So, if you want to get a few army builders, that's kind of one of the easier ways. Just with that
That guy
mask, it's
does
a little
army
more.
building.
So it's
Oh, God,
a little more anonymous and sort of a little less, named character type of look for that one. So he doesn't come with a male and female.
Okay. So do the female heads have a name and personality associated with them in the lore, or is that just
No, they don't. But I think by the time, by the time we release them, like I'm kind of pushing for that. So like they don't. But I was like, well, why don't they? So
Right.
what, can
Right.
we give them names? can
Sure.
we
Yeah.
can we pencil them into the comic book? The comic book's not finished, so let's get those heads in there too,
Yeah.
Nice.
and
That's
get
cool.
those characters in there because why not, right? Like I think
Yeah.
you could just put it somewhere on the box, additional head or like additional character, because it just makes sense, right?
So Bart is asking if the helmet visor swings up.
It does, and I don't have the like working sample of it, but the way that helmet works is it's basically 2 pieces. So to sort of get the helmet on, you'll pop the head off, you put the base on, it kind of locks into the chest sort of harness piece there. Then you put the head on, and then the second piece that includes the visor will sort of click into place on top of that.
Oh,
And
interesting.
the visor does open up.
Cool.
Nice.
Cool. That's nice. I really dig this look. This kind of
Mhm.
has a NASA style,
Yeah.
like from The Martian, kind of look. That looks slick.
I love all of them, but this one might be my favorite. Just that classic white
Yeah.
astronaut suit.
Yeah.
The spacewalk suit is like
Yeah.
that's like the iconic astronaut for me.
You've got kind of like your anodized aluminum look on the
Mhm.
arms and the legs. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, that's really cool. So
So
this is this. I'm sorry, Trey.
no, go ahead. I was just going to ask at the top of the backpack, it looks like there's something that comes off. What's that attachment? What's that accessory that goes on the backpack?
Which one? The
Right at
the backpack as it is right there is basically one piece.
Okay, that was my question.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
I
but
was
it
gonna
is.
ask-
It is just to kind of go a little further with that though. It is designed and sculpted modularly, so it will be shipped as one piece, but it is designed to be kind of separated and reconfigured for future use.
Oh,
Okay.
So,
Nice.
one thing that we're not leaning too heavily into just yet, because we don't even have a successfully funded toy company, but we do have
Right.
other lines and other uses for a lot of these parts
Oh, that's cool.
going forward if we do get there. So,
Okay. So I'm seeing some papers here
Mhm.
and what looks like maybe an open book. Is
Mhm.
this lore related as well?
Yeah, so I mean, all the characters are going to come with accessories that are reflective of who they are. Guy Garrison's kind of the leader of the mission, and he's the military faction guy, military division guy. So he's kind of got the his mission, his sort of side mission, which is somewhat classified because there's more to Red Dust 2 than just going and colonizing Mars. Dr. Michael Locke, avid reader of medical journals and fiction. He loves fantasy and sci-fi stuff too. So he's probably I think in the bio we put something like he's well equipped to heal people's wounds and or fight zombies, whichever whichever happens to be of necessity. So that's just like one of his books.
I figured out how to make it bigger. Sorry.
Nice.
This is the first time I've done the presentation like this, so I was wanting to get rid of those big black bars. So there we go. That's cool though. I'm curious. What else? It sounds like you've got other plans even beyond this for some reuse and some different line.
Oh yeah.
Want to see it? Want to see it?
Yeah.
Sure.
Definitely.
But yeah, these look great. So the hoses and like what looks like a big saw there, is that
Mhm.
kind of the hoses hook up to the backpack, something like that, and then
Yeah.
to the
So
saw,
there's
or-
I should you know what I should be better at this.
if you
But
need to
like
get up for a second, dude, you
no,
can.
I don't even know where it is. I have a backpack somewhere, and I could have shown you. But basically, there's spots both on the figures themselves and on like the backpack where those will plug in. But there's
Nice.
there's kind of no rules. So if you look on the torso for the astronaut, there's like two sort of just below the harness. There's two holes, and I'm not going to do a very good job of explaining this. But hold on. Yeah, give me a sec. I know
Okay.
where I can grab a torso. Hold on.
Okay,
All right, cool.
That's cool. I'm anxious to see it. I always love it when when we can have an actual in hand sample.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's cool. So chat, hit us up with any questions. We've been trying to kind of put Adam on the spot and get him to answer what comes our way, but feel free to keep them coming.
Okay, the problem is more so I don't have anywhere to put this because my desk is covered in paint sample stuff. But
That's all right. That's all right.
But I can show you this, and I can.
Let's switch over to the spotlight.
Yeah. Show.
You can show us exactly what you got.
Where am I going to put this? I'll put this over here.
By the way, I like the shirt. Is the shirt going to be part of it?
As of right now, no. I made this for Legion's Con. I was
Okay.
I had the samples. I took them to Legion's Con, and I was like, I should probably make a T-shirt. So I think I made like half a dozen of them, and kind of just gave them to people that had sort of specifically said, "Are you gonna have T-shirts?" And I was like, I can.
Yeah.
Maybe after it funds is something that we can get at Joe Fest. Maybe.
Absolutely, and that's the thing is
Yeah.
that like we're totally open to that stuff. Like we have stickers, and if you see me at Joe Fest, hit me up. I'll have more stickers.
Definitely.
And if you want T-shirts, let me know. I can sort of
Bring me
figure
a
that out.
shirt.
I can.
Yeah.
Bring me a
Yeah.
shirt.
No, we'll make it happen. Like I'm all for that kind of stuff because I love that kind of stuff. Like I would make wrapping paper if there was enough people that would buy it. But here, I'll show you the backpack first.
Right now.
So the backpack, is going to have like ports like this.
Okay.
Nice.
And you can see there's an empty port there.
Yeah.
But then this is a port as well, but it's got like there's plugs. So you'll get a bunch of plugs
Okay.
so that you won't ever have any empty ports.
Okay.
Nice.
But you have the opportunity to kind of like pick and choose what goes where. And those ports will be like on the torso too.
Nice.
So those
All right.
two little sort of nubs right there, those
Okay.
pop out, and you can either plug the hoses in or different accessories down the line or whatever.
Okay.
So there's a lot. Like if you have Monster Force stuff, you've kind of seen
Yeah.
this with like some of theirs, the way they kind of
That's
design the
Absolutely love
modularity.
Monster Force.
Yeah.
Is the
so-
port size going to be common between the two lines?
That I'm not 100% certain of. There's some things that might be just by default because a lot of companies kind of use the same size ports for things like blast effects and things
Uh-huh.
like just by default because there's somewhat of an industry standard some
Yeah.
times. But as far as like, will everything be compatible? We just don't know because we don't have, all the specs that everybody's using and stuff like that. But
Okay. Okay.
we'll sort of take samples from different lines and see what makes sense to have it be cross compatible and
It'd be
interchangeable
cool.
or
I
what
mean,
have you.
that'd be cool, having some of those
Mhm,
accessories pop on and off.
Mhm.
Not that they're thematically a fit, but it'd be nice to have some standards in the industry.
Yeah, it's tough because right now the backpack just sort of has a peg, like just a
Yeah.
normal peg that I
Mhm.
think would probably fit like a classified figure. But what we realize is that peg it's a little bit it's a little bit weak. So we may do something that's sort of keyed. And somebody said, well, won't that mean that it's not, compatible with another line? And I was like, there's no other astronaut. So
Yeah.
like what
Right.
Yeah.
is it really that big of a deal? Buy that if you want an astronaut with this backpack on it, you might have to buy
Right.
ours, but the accessories will be interchangeable and like the heads, you can blue tack stuff if it's not bang
Oh,
on or
sure.
Dremel
Sure.
it or whatever. So
All right.
we're aiming to sort of be in scale and compatible with as many things as we can, but the truth is nothing's that compatible,
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
you guys know.
If you're
Yeah.
wondering what I'm looking for, Gridiron Studios has a harness that has a lock on it, and the backpack locks down into it in the
Yeah.
back. So you put the harness on, and it pretty much is universal. So you could
Mhm,
definitely do something like that and make it work.
mhm.
Well, let me get back to the share here, so we can move on from Dr. Michael or Dr. Michelle Locke, however
Yeah,
you want to treat it.
that's how we should do it. Hey, just like so on the
Yeah.
nose again. Just like,
George and Georgia. I mean,
yeah,
it's
Yeah.
working. So, is that a uke? A little ukulele?
that is correct. That is in fact a ukulele
All
that
right.
goes with Georgia McBride. She is a musician, so that's her kind of comfort item, I guess, on the trip. Is that
Nice.
she takes along her music where she goes. So
Okay. So tell me about the glasses on her. Are they part of the head sculpt?
I don't think so. I think they are removable. I don't know exactly how that will work. Like I said,
Okay.
I'm literally unpacking some of these paint samples now to see if I can find it because I'm
Okay.
curious.
Okay.
I haven't seen it yet, but my understanding is that the glasses are removable.
That's cool. All right. Yeah, it's cool as long as they stay on or at least have some keying to where they'll,
Hmm.
kind of sit nicely on the
I
face. I
think
mean,
they will. I think there might even be like because she's got like the hood, the astronaut hood on. I
okay,
have Guy Garrison's head here, so I can sort of show you. Like, there's a hood, so in theory, they should just kind of tuck in.
sure.
But as I said, I'm not 100% certain. I have not seen that head yet.
Okay. Okay. All right, let's move on to the next one. By the way, Bart is asking for patches for his con shirt. So patches, shirts, wrapping paper, it'll all work,
All
man.
all of the
Yeah.
above, yeah, exactly. That's how I feel about toy lines. I think I think I still have some GI Joe wrapping paper like from when I was a kid
Nice.
Oh,
that
that's fantastic.
I think I asked my mom to buy it for me when I was a kid, and then I just could not bring myself to use it as wrapping paper. So it's just I still have it.
That's funny. All right, so Julia Stryker, what would the man's name be? What's an alternate to Julia? James?
Jules?
Jules, just Jules,
Yeah,
I guess.
Jules.
Yeah,
Jules,
Jules
maybe?
or John or
Yeah.
James Stryker.
It's
I
not
don't
as
know.
easy as the Georgia to George.
Yeah.
Julian. I like Julian.
Julian, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, all right. But so this one's pretty interesting. You've got some mechanical arms going on here.
Yep. That is correct. So those arms are like a claw. So the claw itself will be articulated, and then
Okay.
just as they kind of look, they'll have rotation and articulation at all of those kind of round
Wow.
joints.
So all of these joints are going to be articulated.
That's the plan, and it
Okay.
should. I mean, it's a pretty simple joint system, so it shouldn't. I mean, we don't foresee there being an issue with that. Like, they're not tiny joints, so it should work just fine.
Okay.
And those will plug into the same ports that the hoses do. So
Yeah.
effectively, you can plug them into the sides of the backpack.
That's cool. I like the sound of that. And then there's a camera. And what's the red thing?
So she collects rocks.
Okay.
Okay.
She's the
It's
science one.
geologist.
So it's So those are just some Martian red rocks.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm liking all of the accessories that you can attach to the backpack in the different
Mhm.
ports. That's really slick.
Mr. Wonderful says Julio. That
Julio,
works.
yeah,
Yeah,
could be, yeah.
All right. All right. And now we've got our first zombie.
hmm
So the Red Walker Retro. So this looks he's got his cool bull helmet all nice and shattered.
hmm
So I'm guessing the zombies are good out in, the lack of atmosphere on Mars.
They're
Yeah,
dead.
I
They
mean,
don't
when
need to
you're
breathe.
dead, it's not really that important that you have oxygen to breathe. So
Yeah.
they're at a bit of an advantage in that respect. That
Well, these things look great, man. I
Yeah.
love the green. I love the, the kind of ghoulish looking skin. And this is, obviously you've got some parts from, was it Striker? Ooh, all right. I'm going to put you up on the big on the
Yeah,
spot.
yeah,
Oh no,
We'll
we'll come back
We'll come
around.
back. All right,
I'm literally opening the heads, like, so I got Arlen sent me like all the painted heads, and I'm just opening them as we're chatting here. So
Okay. Okay. Cool. All right. And then we've got the military Red Walker.
Mhm.
And so the Red Walker, the term the red comes from the Red Planet Walker
Martian,
zombies.
yeah.
So okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Just wanted you've got your military logo there. Looks
Mhm.
good.
Yeah, all
Couple
the different divisions get a different logo.
Nice.
So I'm thinking one of those heads is probably something like with the astronaut.
Yeah.
What's that called? A balaclava?
Balaclava. Yeah.
Something like that. Good stuff.
That's just like what the
All of our skulls here, so that's nice.
yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I wasn't even really shown this, but the jaw
Ooh,
articulates.
okay.
Nice.
Nice.
So
Nice.
yeah, so that logo is sort of the Prometheus logo, that sticker that you have, and Prometheus is Ira and Arlen's band that did the soundtrack. So we just
Okay.
call that the Prometheus skull.
Right. Right.
Nice.
Cool. Okay. And then next up, we've got
Or
the
sorry,
medical.
that one is the Prometheus skull.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, and that's the same as the sticker that you have there. Yeah.
Ah, all right.
Nice.
All right. And so on this one, the mouth articulates?
Correct.
Okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
What about the others? Is this the only one with that or?
I believe that is the only one that has articulation. Yeah, the jawbone one is the only one that really articulates. Other than that, you'd have to kind of sculpt it into the flesh too, which
Sure.
which
Be a
is
little weird.
Yeah, you'd have a weird break in the sculpt. So
Yeah. And I like the big hole in
Mhm.
the helmet there. That's pretty nice.
Mhm.
All right. And then got an orange guy. Oh, that's really cool.
yeah, the orange. I like the like. For me, I love the white astronaut.
Mhm.
But as far as the red walkers, I think this one's my favorite because I think that zombie green flesh with the orange suit is maybe my favorite combo.
It does.
Nice.
Yeah, that works together pretty well.
Mhm.
I like it. All right. And then we got your blue one.
I like that one.
The science guy. Yeah, that's cool too. Man, I'm all in. Okay,
I'm putting a Cobra logo on that one.
That's funny. So you got a head pack.
Yep.
So is this a stretch goal, or is this going to be part of the initial offering, or?
This is a stretch goal. So this is actually the final stretch goal.
Okay.
And the reason that it's the final stretch goal is everything else was sort of mapped out and determined when we were doing all the pricing. And then I don't even know who made the decision, but we kind of decided like we should do more heads because there's more. Because Arlen just loves sculpting heads, and he's like, I've got more that we could like. What should we do with the rest of these, basically? And I was like, well, we could just do a head pack, like
Yeah.
and then if you're buying multiple figures and you want different expressions or you want whatever, we'll do it that way. So the 5 heads in this head pack are totally unique. None of them comes with any of the figures, before they're unlocked. So it's 5 unique heads that you will only, at least for now, get in the head pack.
So in
Nice.
terms of unique heads, you mean like actual different people, not the same person with a resculpted expression or
Right.
something.
These aren't repaints or like
Okay.
like again, you're getting more. You would have more, choice for
Okay.
Right.
sort of characters
Are
effectively
you
there.
going to have like the ability to do some army building with one of the version
Tears.
or tiers? Well, not tiers, but like one of the things that you can buy.
Right.
Pledges. That's what I was looking for.
Um, I'm not sure I understand the
So,
question.
in other words, you can choose a different pledge to pick up, one figure, two figure, the
Yeah.
full set or something like that. Or are you going to have one where it's like the army building set where you get a few of, maybe some more of the generic zombies or, something like that?
We'll call it the all-in set, and that's yeah.
So we've got for reward tiers. I can just kind of go through them
I'm
in my
curious.
head.
Yeah.
Basically, we had like the Kickstarter always has the pledge with no reward. You can put whatever you want in there. That's where it
Sure.
starts. And then I think for like $10, we have a digital bundle of the comic and the soundtrack.
Okay.
And then they go in sort of numeric, like dollar amount order in Kickstarter. So that's how I'm probably going to go through them
Sure.
because that's how I've been processing them for the last, I don't even know how long. Um, but so you can get like I said, a zombie will be $25. An astronaut will be $40. The Kickstarter exclusive zombie will be a little bit more than the zombie, but less than the astronaut. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think he's like $35 or something like that. And then the astronaut at 40, and then beyond that, it's like buy 2 zombies, buy 2 astronauts, buy a zombie and an astronaut, all the way up to like 4 zombies and 4 astronauts. We're also going to have a 2 bundles, sort of 2 all-in bundles, if you want to call them that. The first one will be the prepare for launch bundle, which will be everything that we offer, at launch on day 1. And as we unlock all the stretch goals, we will also have an all-in all systems go bundle, which will be one of everything that we release. Those 2 bundles are going to be the best sort of value for money. That's going to be the best price on,
Okay.
the items, if you
So
break
how
it
much
down
am
that
I
way.
budgeting for that one?
But there's no substitutions in those 2. So if you want one of everything, those are going to be the best value for money. If you
Okay.
want 4 military astronauts, just order the 4 astronauts, and then you can pick in whether it's going to be through Kickstarter or backer kit. We haven't confirmed yet, but it'll be sort of after the campaign. You'll go in
Right.
and sort of pick your specific colors. And then we'll have the same thing for zombies too. So there will be effectively, the more you buy, the less expensive they are per unit.
Nice.
Do you have a price on that all-in bundle yet?
Which one? The
Uh,
launch or the?
Either. Either
Yeah, I
both,
do.
because
I
I'm
do.
very, I'm serious. Like this looks great.
Yeah.
I can't, I'm always happy when we have people on that are talking about new toys coming out because that's cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm in on these for sure.
Yeah.
So where is it? I have them somewhere.
Well, and while you're looking that up, I did pull up the
Canadian.
picture of the record, and a bit of some comic art.
So that just sort of represents the comics. There's a few pages of the comic that are already done, but they're totally out of context and they're not
Okay.
colored. So I
Right.
think that might be like the inside cover or something along those lines.
Okay.
But yeah, that's just sort of a representation of the comic book. So
Okay.
And we do have a question. What style of music is the soundtrack?
So the soundtrack it's all original music, and it really is a soundtrack. So think of like the closest thing that I can kind of think of is like the soundtrack for, and I mean Ira and Arlen are kind of weirdos, so like it's kind of like the soundtrack for like a Christopher Nolan movie is probably the best way
Okay.
to.
Okay.
So it's pretty ephemeral and it's sort of soundscapes, and there's some like There's some like vocal tracks, but it's not, it's not singing, it's like speaking, so there's a little bits of sort of lore thrown in.
Okay, so
It's
very something like you want to play this in the background while you're opening the figures and
exactly,
posing them and
Nice.
stuff.
or while you're putting together the Kickstarter. Like I've listened to it so many times, and I actually absolutely love it. It's not for everybody. You're not gonna want to like sit down and like lay down on your bed and like put this thing on. It's definitely like a soundtrack thing.
Okay.
You're
Nice.
gonna want to listen to it while you've got your toys on your table and you're like, playing out the scenarios and stuff in your
Okay.
play patterns. So, yeah.
All right. So
Although there is one kind of traditional song, if you want to call it that, but you'll have to wait and see what that is. I love it.
All right.
I can't wait. I can't wait for people to hear more of that stuff, but they
So
won't let me share that stuff yet.
We got to put you back on task to let us know how much the big bundles are.
Yeah. So the big bundles are. Now this doesn't look right. I think the launch bundle is about $200, but I'm looking at numbers that now are just confusing me. If we unlock everything, so if the All Systems Go bundle is available, it'll be about $350 for 11 figures, a record, a comic book, and a head pack.
Okay.
Yep.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Sounds good. And then here's the exclusive guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people have their soft spots for certain things here and there, but glow in the dark, man, I love it.
I am an absolute sucker for glow in the dark figures and translucent figures. So we're trying to figure out, and it does not render. Translucent does not render. You can't. There's no way to make it not look transparent.
Right.
But in a perfect world, if we can make it work, and so I don't want people to sort of like say, "Oh, he said it was going to be this," but if we can do it, so it will be glow in the dark, and if we can do it, it will be sort of like a semi-transparent kind of opaque,
nice,
transparent, translucent. Think of like Super 7's Ghost Jaga.
Mm-hmm.
Like you definitely can't see through it, but there's like a, it's not completely solid. Like,
right.
So if we can do both, I will be pushing for that.
That's cool. Something to look forward to. All right.
Yeah.
So on that note, when do you guys think you'll be delivering?
So we are all very conservative, and we really don't want to miss our date. So what we're saying is like fall 2026.
Okay.
But it may be sooner if we don't have any issues. But we're like really confident that it won't be later. So we're kind of doing the opposite of what a lot of people typically do, where we'll say, oh, it'll be here in June, and then you don't get it till like November or December.
So under promise, over deliver.
A little bit, yeah. That's kind of how I've always operated. So that was just we just felt more comfortable doing that. And to be honest, like from April 1st, right? If you go to say like October 1st, I think it's like 17 months. So like that's really not that long. It's not like we're asking people to wait 3 years or something like that, but people will get impatient. We know we want these, tomorrow too, but that's just sort of not how it happens, and not really how the whole system works. So, we will get these to people as quickly as we possibly can. We're pretty far along. And I truly think that we're probably further along than a lot of people are. These sculpts are like ready to go. Like we basically just have to submit the files for them to start printing out the test shots, which we've thought about doing already, but we wouldn't have gotten the test shots in time, so it didn't really make sense to pay for them and then have them show up,
right.
maybe during the campaign, but maybe not.
Yeah.
And Arlen sort of printed some functional 3D prints, so we still got an idea of what the articulation looks like and how they move and all that kind of stuff. So we're very, very confident with what they are and how good the files are. Arlen's been doing this for a long time, and he's done this for a lot of different companies, and he's been very involved in a couple lines where he's dealt with factories, and he knows the questions they're going to ask, and so as far as that goes, like we're very confident that we're going to deliver on time, and like I said, possibly a little sooner than fall. So
Okay.
Nice.
Cool, man. I mean, all of it sounds good. Going back through here, the record, is there going to be a physical record that you can purchase, or is this
oh,
just
absolutely.
virtual?
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Nice.
Oh, I mean, look, we're making toys, right? Like we're not making non-fungible tokens. We're making physical objects. So
Nice.
yeah,
That's the way we like it.
the comic book will be physical, but there will be sort of a digital download version, and the soundtrack will be physical on a 12-inch vinyl LP. It may or may not be purple vinyl, but the Kickstarter pressing for the record will be like a limited run. Like we'll basically order however many are ordered during the Kickstarter, and probably won't make a colored version in the future if we ever have a need to do a second pressing. It'll probably just be black.
Okay.
So if you from a collector's perspective, if you're gonna get the record at some point, get it during the Kickstarter, because you'll get a cooler version of it.
That's cool. That's
nice.
Cool. All right. And yeah, as we talked about, the head pack, stretch goal, all unique. That's awesome. You've got your various zombies representing the different field of expertise, which I think is cool. Yeah, these look great. And yeah, we didn't really talk about this one kind of being retro. So
yeah, so they all kind of match their astronauts, right? So these are the zombies of the astronauts that are sort of they're still in their suits. So the retro Red Walker is, of course, like a zombie from the first mission, basically. So he still has that retro harness to go with.
Not necessarily the first guy that we were showing, the actual non-zombie astronaut.
Not Spike Spectre, no. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't think so.
Yeah, he'd be like another astronaut, like unnamed.
Somebody that was on the ship with him.
John Smith, the astronaut, is now a Red Walker. So yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, it looks like even without the stretch goals, it looks like a very nice assortment of accessories. I mean, of course, I want to see all the extra bits possible. But I mean,
me too.
This is a nice loadout as it is.
It really is, and I think for the price, I think you're getting your value there. And so the stretch goal stuff, excuse me, as pack-ins is kind of like just bonus stuff. But like I said, between the funding goal, so the funding goal is 120, and then the full stretch goal is like 170. Each stretch goal is like $5,000, give or take. So we're hoping that sort of the momentum of funding gets us right into stretch goals. And so as the stretch goals unlock, more stuff is available for people to add on, and more stuff is there to like pique people's interests, and that way hopefully we don't sort of have that thing where we have, and we will, but it was an attempt to sort of avoid that spike at the beginning, lull through the middle, and spike at the end. So if things keep unlocking, typically you see people kind of jumping in, or they're like waiting for a particular astronaut, or they're waiting for an unlock or whatever. I think what you get there is pretty good value, and it's great value if everything unlocks.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But like I said, the stuff that unlocks is like some of it's packed in here with the head packs, and it's so awesome.
I think all this stuff looks amazing. I'll definitely be telling everybody, you need to go look at this line. You need to back this Kickstarter. So yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
Get in with some space zombies from Mars, man. Absolutely. So who's the artist on the comic book?
So Arlen has done a few pages. So there's a few kind of like world building pages almost where, and this will all make way more sense when the comic book is done. But he's sort of done, certain world building pages that will be in there. Depending on funding and time, he might do the whole book. But if we sort of hit all our stretch goals and we have a little bit more money sort of left in the budget, there's a few artists that we would love to reach out to. Most of them being Canadian. We're kind of trying as much as we can to employ Canadians, just because the three of us are Canadian, and it just felt like a cool thing. There's not another Canadian action figure toy line that I know of besides Delta 17, and so it felt like kind of just a cool thing with a little bit of a different angle, a little bit of a different story to it. So
And Bart was just asking, the writer is Arlen's brother, Ira, right?
correct, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, they kind of came up with the plot points together, and Arlen was kind of coming up with character designs and figure designs, and then sort of working with Ira to sort of make them all fit into the lore. So it was kind of a back and forth. So the comic book and the toy line really are intertwined, and you can't really separate one from the other. Everything that we're doing in the Kickstarter is relevant in the comic book, and the comic book is effectively written, just not completely drawn. So yeah, we're already pretty far along in that respect.
How many pages are you expecting for the comic?
The goal is 32.
Okay,
Nice.
that's
Standard.
So it'll be like a pretty thick standard issue. It's not it's not going to be a tome of lore, but it'll be pretty fun.
Are there plans for more comics, or is this going to be kind of a self-contained story?
That remains to be seen. I mean, I guess it really depends how successful the comic book is in some respects.
Yeah.
We think the toy line is the driver here, but we really don't know what to expect as far as the comic book and the soundtrack. How many people are going to be into that?
Yeah.
Those are really cool and really important to us, but you never know.
Yeah.
You just don't know. So, hopefully, we sell tons of both of those, and we can, Arlen and Ira can keep making comic books and keep making different records for like different parts of the mission. But we'll see.
Cool.
That's the intention. That's the goal.
In the future, with like after everything funds and ships, and there's another wave coming, which is the next step in a toy line. Like, it'd be cool to have a comic book per wave. That would be something interesting.
So I will say that beyond Space Zombies from Mars, there are two other toy lines that we would love to do within the Nameless Toy Company. We've now, because like I said, we're very on the nose, we've now sort of named it the Nameless Universe. So there's this is sort of the present, even though it's kind of not, but we do have sort of a past and a future line planned, and then within all of those lines there's kind of like Space Zombies from Mars really takes place during the Red Dust 2 mission, but the world exists outside of the Red Dust mission. So they are from Earth when they leave, and so we may have stuff happen back on Earth if they make it back, and so there's more there. It's just we wanted to keep the Kickstarter as concise and as specific as we possibly could, so that it's not confusing to people. It is confusing because like I'm saying all this stuff now, we're like, oh, we're gonna do the past and the future and like different stuff, but we just really wanted to be very focused on what Space Zombies from Mars was.
Nice.
Now, so.
All right. I like the idea of, expanding the universe and not just sticking with, what's happening on Mars. But I mean, that's cool, man. Best of luck to the whole thing. We're really excited. Yes. So
appreciate it.
Go live on March 1st. You end at the end of the month.
Yeah, March 1st to March 31st. And then I think your card will charge on April 1st. So, back for what you want. knowing that it doesn't charge your card right away. You know,
Right.
you do have time to add to your pledge before it charges your card.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, with that, I think were you going to hang out for the rest of the show with us?
Absolutely, man. Yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
Awesome.
All right.
Let's talk more toys.
Let's talk
Yeah.
more toys. Yeah. So let's bring it back on over here. So yeah, we do a couple of normal segments here, but one of the things, or should I say, a couple of the things that I was wanting to touch on, is there's been some interesting news recently.
Mm-hmm.
So Valaverse, our friend Bobby over there at Valaverse Action Force stuff, he's got some ZoloCon exclusives, and now has said that there's going to be some a drop that happens on the
secret
Saturday?
drop.
Yeah, a secret drop.
I got slides if you need them. So
okay. Well, let's do that, man. Are you ready?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I get to
Okay. You were almost ready. There you go.
Okay.
Vac
There
metal
we go.
heads. Hell yes.
That I believe he said the gold is a 1 of 100.
Yeah.
So
And it's a chase because they're boxed, right? They're brown boxed.
right.
Probably
Right. The brown box like the bloody variants he's had for Pandora. So yeah, look, I mean, I'm definitely going to get a couple of these to go with the army. I have a ton of Action Force stuff, so I'm really excited for this. Hopefully they release on the website, shortly after ZoloCon. But yeah, really excited to see these.
Cool. You didn't have any insider stuff on the secret drop.
Nah, just that this is the secret drop. I mean,
I was going to be impressed if you did. But
no, I don't have any inside information, but I will reiterate that Valaverse will be at IshCon in May, and we're excited for that because that's in Durham and that's right down the road from us. So we'll definitely get to see some of that and probably pick up some of this wave at that show. So
yeah.
I suspect you'd probably have both the secret drop stuff and more of those Steel Brigade figures, right?
Yeah, I mean, he generally seems to hit even website sales with those con exclusives, which I always appreciate. We're not going to all be able to make it all over the country to get this stuff. So, speaking of which, Adam, what conventions are you guys planning on attending this year?
The Nameless Toy Company, I don't think is planning on being at any. However, in my capacity with Spiro Toys, I will be doing WonderCon at the end of March in Anaheim, and then I will be doing Joe Fest,
nice,
and Legion's Con, and I want to say there's one other, but I can't remember what the other one is.
Not doing.
We'll see it.
Maybe Toylanta.
That's in just a few weeks.
No, not Toylanta, because Toylanta is the same time as WonderCon. So Jason will be at Toylanta, and I will be at WonderCon.
Okay.
On the same weekend.
Cool.
No, I can't remember what it is, and it's in my phone, which I'm using as my camera, so I can't even look it up.
Well, we'll definitely see you at Joe Fest.
Absolutely. Well, cool. Trey, did you have anything else you want to show off while you're here?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So these this drop from I can't even remember the name of the company now. What is it? Loyal Subjects.
Okay.
Loyal Subjects.
Yeah.
So this came from Loyal Subjects, and it's just some really dark images, some renders kind of the mask line. Now, I wasn't really into masks as a kid, but I mean, they look cool, and I know a lot of people are anticipating this.
Yeah.
So just kind of wanted to scroll through some of these pictures. And I mean, I know some people that are really excited for this to come out, especially since the vintage is so expensive that they're going to be able to get something a little bit more modern in the same scale. And I might have to pick up the big rig. My dad was a long haul owner operator truck driver, so yeah, this looks cool. So probably going to have to pick that up just out of the love for trucks. But yeah, there's definitely some things to look forward to here. And
these look very similar to the vintage vehicles, especially.
Yeah, I think they're trying to keep it very close. There's not a whole lot you can do with mask as far as, I mean, you could upgrade it like classified, but I don't think that the people would buy into it. So you're going to keep it close to the 80s, line. I think you're going to get more nostalgia buy than anything. So
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, personally, like, I mean, if you look at what Classified did, I think doing an update makes a lot of sense. But
yeah,
I think this is very early. I mean, there is a severe lack of detail on,
yeah,
the
they
figure
they they
model.
launched these with really dark colors for a reason. Like,
Yep,
I mean, it,
yep.
it, it shows it off better here than it does on the pictures I downloaded. So loyal subjects in the past has given me some reserve as to their articulation and different things, but these are smaller. These are like almost not even a 3.75, almost like a 3-inch scale. So they're very small.
Yeah,
Um, so,
1/24.
right.
Oh wow.
So yeah, these are very small, and I think that there's going to be some people that are going to buy into this one for sure.
Oh yeah.
I'm buying into this one for sure.
It's an
Nice,
IP that
nice.
people love. I don't know why it's
Yeah.
taken so long.
I agree. I agree.
I think I think it's a Hasbro
It
IP.
is.
Like it's they've owned it forever, so I think they've had to license it out. And I personally think that the issue with Mask is that it is 1/24th. There's
Mhm.
not a lot in the market in that scale. So I think
Right.
for me personally, like if I was designing toys, my apprehension would be like, is there a market for this, or are people focused on 112 or 118 or 1/6 or whatever?
Yeah.
1/24th, there's just not that much stuff out there now.
Right.
um this is a vehicle line. There's no way around that.
Yeah.
you,
That's
you
right.
can't do Mask if you're not
Without
doing
vehicles.
vehicles.
Yep.
So it's kind of in that way, you kind of go 1/24th makes perfect sense, because you're not going to do that rig in 112.
No.
You're not
As
going to.
much as I'd love it, they're not going to do it.
No,
That'd be
and if
nice.
you do, like, people would buy like one or two
One.
vehicles, and they'd be like, "That's all I got room for."
Yep.
So
Yep.
Yep.
I'm out. Like after
And,
wave one, everybody's like, "I don't have any shelf left." So I think sticking to 1/24th, which I think they said that they were intending to do, like they're effectively intending to remake these toys. Now, are they going to have the same articulation scheme? Are they going to have the same play features? I don't know if that's going to be the case. I hope they update that stuff. Like I hope they do. You see that, like, the original figure couldn't put his arm up at the shoulder to put his arm over his helmet. So
mhm.
is that a tell? Are they saying we're going to put more articulation in the figures? Are we going to get a little bit more detail out of the sculpts for the vehicles? So will this
Right.
be like a true, 1-to-1 to the vintage, or is this modern construction
In the
with
same scale. Right.
in the same scale and with the designs that they have access to?
I mean, they have to update it at least a little bit, right? I
Right.
mean,
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And I mean, like, are they gonna have spring loaded weapons and stuff? Like, we haven't
yeah.
seen that in a collector line really yet. You see that in kids' toys still, but as far as like a collector line, you don't
And
really see that. So I
is
don't know.
this the same scale as like Dino Riders? I love Dino Riders as a kid. I think it's
I
the same
think
scale,
so. I
maybe.
think so. Yeah, the figures themselves are about 3 inches. I think you're bang on with that. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Now
I think it was the same scale as Dino Riders.
Hmm.
nice. So the other big news, and I'll scroll through it. It's Cole Slither. You'll be joining us soon. A
I
band
love
of
it.
misfits. I love it, man. I thought this was a fan render. As soon as I saw it, I thought it was not real. I thought it was fake. And then somebody sent me something. Hey, did you see this? I was like, yeah, that's not real.
It spread
Yeah,
so
it's
quickly that I was like,
It
"There's
did.
no way that," because that I was the same way. Like, I saw the first one and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." Somebody made like one of those, like, custom. Hey,
Sure.
wouldn't it be cool if?
mm,
And I've been saying since Classified, started, that this is a perfect San Diego Comic Con type of thing. It's
yeah,
characters that we will already have in the line. It's designs that you don't need. It makes for a box set that, like, makes it way more sort of obviously like a San Diego Comic-Con or a PulseCon exclusive or
Oh,
whatever.
it's going to be pricey.
Oh yeah.
It will, but I will buy it.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Oh yes.
I mean, I think this is
For the
kind of like
fun of
the
it.
perfect sort of a thing to do as a con
Yes.
exclusive.
Yeah.
Not everybody is going to need this in their collection.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, but I do.
I
I
do,
want the
exactly.
guitars and the keytar. I mean, that looks
Yeah.
awesome.
I hope, and I'm not the only one that's saying this, so it's not like this is my idea by any means, but like I hope that they absolutely nail it with the box design so that it can open up and be like a stage.
That
Yeah.
would be awesome. Like the
So that-
Mezco pink skulls, their
Yep.
box
exactly
turns
like
into a
that.
stage.
Exactly
That-
like
that
that.
would be
So it's
awesome.
sort of like, I mean, I open everything.
There,
But
there.
give me a reason
Yeah.
to keep the box, right?
Yeah.
Make this something that you can display the figures on, because
Mhm.
what else are you gonna do with them? You can't just like put them on your Cobra shelf or whatever. Even if you have a Dreadnought shelf, you already have those characters. So this almost like has to be its own display.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the stage thing, Mezco pulled it off. Like I was kind of pointing to, I've got mine on display right there, and it's perfect.
Yeah.
It works super well. They even did the artwork around the sides of it. I don't know if you're familiar, but like there's like an audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was awesome. So you
It
can
doesn't
definitely
fit in
do
a
that.
Detolf shelf though. It doesn't fit in a Detolf. It's too big for a Detolf.
I don't think this would either, though. Like if they
Yeah.
have all four figures sort of late, like it depends how they do it. Whether they intentionally, detail fit it almost. You could almost do that, right?
Mhm.
You'd almost engineer the box to be
To
what is it,
slide right
13
in
and 13-inch by 13 or whatever to like
Right.
fit that slot perfectly, which would really just collectors would just be in a frenzy if that was the case. They're going to be anyway, good and bad. Let's be honest, but
Yeah,
it's
It's going to sell out in minutes. And
and everybody will complain about that,
then they'll
people-
put up some more at a random time in the future, and
Mhm.
that'll sell out in minutes. And
Right.
yeah, it'll be a whole thing because that's the way Hasbro rolls. As unorganized as a big company can possibly be.
you know what, I am. It's not a popular opinion, but I am of the opinion that exclusives should be hard to get. That if you're gonna call it an exclusive, make it exclusive. And I don't mean that it should be impossible. It should be like really high. I want it to be exclusive to the point where if you're a hardcore avid collector, you should be able to get it in some way. But I don't want it to just end up everywhere and
Yeah.
people are sitting on a pile of them and like you're buying it 2 years later for like the same price or less because there's so many of them out there.
I agree with you. I've definitely seen some where it's kind of like this exclusive was more common than the normal figure.
Yeah.
But just don't make it impossible to get.
Right. Exactly. It has.
No, and I mean that's so for like Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, when we did the last Kickstarter, we had a Kickstarter exclusive, but what we said was this is sort of a Kickstarter / event exclusive. So any inventory that's left over from the minimum order quantity will be available at some time, and we'll make it available, whether it's at conventions or whether it's at sort of special releases on the store or whatever. And as long as you're connected and paying attention and like engaged with the brand, you'll probably see an opportunity to get it.
Right.
And that's probably what we'll do with Space Zombies from Mars as well. Any sort of inventory that's left over will not go to online retailers. It will still be controlled by us. But it'll be like, whether we're at a convention, whether we do a special release, whether we do it as giveaways, whatever. But an exclusive should require some effort on the part of the collector. I think
Right.
that's how I like to look at it. Like, it shouldn't be easy to get. You should have to do some work.
Yeah. There is a very kind of Goldilocks zone there, right?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
Sometimes, the Mezco figures go instantly. I mean,
Yeah.
Trey has dealt with that recently, and other times it's kind of like, oh, it's still there,
Yeah.
You want it to be cool.
And then you hit the wait list, and then you have to wait,
Yep.
and then it converts, and
Well, guys, we are coming right up on 9:30, and I've had a blast with you, Adam. You've been a great guest. Really appreciate you coming out. I mean, we were already hyped for Space Zombies from Mars,
Yeah, awesome.
but yeah, Oh, there you go.
Lasers.
More effects.
Damn it! I gotta get something like that. Uh-oh. Well, Trey's
Where's it
trying.
at? No, it's not working.
He's
Oh,
trying.
there it is.
There you
There you
go.
go.
Yeah.
All right, all right. Well, damn it! Now I got to do something, right? Hold on. I can do. I can't do. I can't.
I
go
can do
full
more to
blown.
fill in if you want while
Yeah.
we're waiting. 2 thumbs up actually.
Well,
gives-
Oh yeah, he's changing. Oh, that's awesome.
I can do some colors in the background, I
think I
guess.
could get
But
balloons. I think.
I got to work on some stuff. There
Confetti.
you go. Okay.
2 thumbs down is rain.
Nice.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, I got to get some lights going on back here that for the show specifically, like
Yeah.
pulse, because I don't have anything set up like that.
More
I
than me
can.
just putting a light behind my display here. So I was hoping we would get a new hotness today. I got some cool stuff to show, but
Well, we don't have a guest for next week, so we're going to
Okay.
have a lot of fun on that show. That gives us some flexibility. But Adam, man, again, it's been a blast. Really appreciate you
Yeah,
coming
man.
out.
Thank you for
Looking
having me.
forward to the Kickstarter, and also looking forward to seeing you at Joe Fest.
Yes,
You're going
sir.
to have to bring me a T-shirt. I will reach out and say,
Yeah,
hey,
message me. I'll
forget.
I got some time, so I think after the Kickstarter we'll probably sort of put it out there that like if anybody wants one is going to be at Joe Fest or is going to make it easy for us to get them one.
Yeah.
We can certainly try to arrange that.
nice.
Cool.
I'm definitely in for that.
All right. Hold on a second. Wait a minute. I was trying for something. I'm still okay. No, that's not very fun. I'm changing my lights. Okay, that's a little crazy. I don't know. Whatever. I'm just messing around at this point. There was one where it's like there's a police thing or something, but I can't figure out what it is. So, oh, see, damn it, man. Now, come on. It's like not doing anything fun at this point.
Well, I have 2 of those lights, and one of them went out. So yeah, it's charged, and yeah, these are older lights, but they still get the job done. So, but yeah, thanks for coming on, Adam. We really appreciate it. It is nice
Absolutely.
to meet you,
Yeah, it was my pleasure.
and looking forward to see you in person at Joe Fest, and I'm sure you'll see us in the chat. The more times y'all are talking about this line, and we'll be spreading the word so we can get these toys on the shelf. So we're
Absolutely, we appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, don't be a stranger, and we will catch you around. Thanks for showing up again. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
all right, thanks.
All right, dude. Well, let's head back over here.
Yep.
Legends
Oops.
collide.
Hey, that's the intro. All right, my bad. I forgot about that. Yeah, dude. So that was awesome.
We can start again if you want to.
Apparently, you're ready for more.
Yeah.
Well, no. So next week, yeah, no special guests. So that means we're going to kind of go back to our roots and hit up. We'll have some fantastic photos. We'll have some new hotness. We'll have
Take my money.
take my money for sure. It's been a little bit of a lull because we're starting into the convention season. I think it's not New York. It's like Toy World or something. Like Toy Fair?
Toy Fair.
Toy Fair. Yeah. So I think there's been a little bit of a lull. So we'll have a lot to talk about with that next week. And
the Valiverse stuff. We'll talk
and
about that.
yeah, absolutely. Some ZoloCon aftermath. So yeah, it'll be a fun one. So everybody, if you want to, send us some of your photos or a shelfie or something like that, description down below. Hit us up. Any of those methods. We would love to see you. Love to have it.
Join the Facebook group if you're on Facebook.
Oh yeah,
hit us
We've
up
got
on
a Facebook
Instagram. We're on all those sites. We're on all those places. Hit us up. We'd love to hear from you. Tell a friend. Invite them to the next episode on Wednesday, and Saturday at 10:30. I have a video coming out about our local comic shop moved locations, and we're going to get a tour of that. So
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So with that, I think we're going to call it. But like, share, do the YouTube things, whatever. We appreciate everybody coming out and hanging out. We will catch you next time.
later.
Later.
Yeah, we were on a mission, got my crew at my side. Scouring the shells, we're down for the ride. Plastic warriors all lined up tight. From the comic shop counters to the late night site. It's the thrill of the hunt, gotta make it mine. I'm out here searching, yeah, taking my time. I'll flip every aisle, don't care what it takes. For that rare chase piece, I'm raising the stakes. Action Figure Alliance, yeah, we're bringing the noise. Rolling deep, rolling heavy with my action toys. Collectors unite, we're breaking the chains. Plastic in hand, we're playing no games.